Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new League Racing video. Today the finale of WOR Season 13 around Abu Dhabi. And as you guys might know, last time out we won.
I think there are a few people about to start their lap, but I have no idea where they are.
Last time out we won around Brazil, and this time we are leading championship. Going into the last race of the season. We're going to be leading the championship for the first time actually this season. After that 25-point win in Brazil. And you can see right there, we are 8 points ahead of Thomas Ronhaar. So in case Thomas wins and we finish second, that would be enough. But yeah, it's better to just win anyway, right? Ruben Pedreno still in it as well, but 19 points behind. And well, he kind of needs a little bit of a miracle to walk away with the championship today here around Abu Dhabi, as we've gone out for our first Q1 run. And as you guys might know, Abu Dhabi on the F1 Esports calendar as well for the final event. And this is a little bit of preparation, but of course we are going into this to win the championship here tonight. I haven't won a WOR championship yet, so it will be nice to get one here today, at least. And you know, get my first WOR championship. I have done a lot of WOR in previous games, but I've never competed in enough races to fight for the championship. Usually I did like 3 races per season, which obviously is not going to be enough to be fighting for the championship. So this year we have missed, I think, only 1 or 2 races, and maybe a little bit more, I'm not sure exactly. But into turn 1 we go. You can see no brake marks on the right, as everyone gets close to the wall, you know, so makes sense that they get hit and knocked over. And a bit of a moment there on the exit. Into sector 2 we go. Sector 1 very short around here. Basically just one corner and then a flat out section. So you can't lose too much time there. Turn 1 very hard on this game, as you need to brake on the curb on the outside, get close to the wall, and then carry momentum and get a good exit, because it's pretty long flat out section afterwards. And then the oh so important chicanes. Bit of a moment on the exit as we open the DRS. Into turn 9 we go. Final sector coming up here. Now the final sector is where the time is gained. Bit of understeer on entry. Really managed to get it rotated. Luke Smith goes to P1 with a 22.764. Fourth gear to carry the momentum. Bit of a moment on the exit. Thomas Ronhaar, our championship rival, goes to the top spot with a 22.538. And all we have to do now is not invalidate in this last corner, which is pretty easy to do. We get it on the exit on the white line, and it's P8, which is not a great lap, but I felt like it was more than enough to get into Q2, and it was, as you can see there, P10. The losers from this Q1 session are Ike Bena, Jack West, Alessio Di Capua. Couldn't name them fast enough, because on to Q2 we go. First new set of tire run puts us in P4, but as we saved the set of tires in our first run in Q1, or just doing one run in Q1, it means that we've got 4 new sets of tires for Q2 and Q3, and that means we're going to be doing 2 new sets of tires for Q2 and 2 for Q3, of course. Especially around here, you want to have 2 new sets of tires, because they are the softest compound available. The C5 tire, there's just no point driving on a used set of tires, or even doing a benchmark lap on a used set of tires, because it will just be so slow. It wouldn't be representative at all. If anything, it would distract you more. So very happy that we managed to get into Q2 on a single set of tires. Now on this exit, very important to get the power down nicely. Lost a bit of time to our delta there, as we're currently in P6. The first person to finish the lap is the Alfa Romeo. That's coming into the final corner now. Now again, a little bit of time lost to the fast left-hander. We managed to gain some back on the exit, so that is good. And now we just need to try and find a little bit more time in this last sector. This is where so much time can be gained, as we're struggling to get a power down there on the exit. 6th gear up to 7th, easy flat out into the final corner. Short shifting to 5th, and that is half a 10 improvements. Up to P5 we go, and that is more than enough to get into Q3. And this is the one where it all counts. Thomas Ronar P1 in Q1 and P1 in Q2. So he's looking very fast, but Q3 is where it counts. As you can see there, Alvaro Carton out in Q2. That's a bit of a shocker. Thomas Ronar, as you can see there, first run of Q3 goes to provisional pole with a 22.1. And we're going to try and beat that, of course. Although I don't think we have quite that pace here today, so we might be pushing for P2 instead. Across the line, it's a 22.472, right behind Daniel Haddad. And now the final run is where the track is gonna be at its fastest. Most grip available of all qualifying sessions right here, right now. New set of tires, and this is the one where it counts. Through turn 1 we go, already 700s up. So that's been a very solid improvement here in Sector 1. As I said earlier on, very hard to nail Sector 1. We're still half a 10 down on Thomas Ronar. Into the hairpin we go, trying to get a car rotated. And at the same time get a very good exit. DRS open as we head towards the next chicane. Important to brake late, keep the minimum speed up, because the minimum speed is where a lot of the time is. But you also need to get a good exit, and that is the key of basically all racing laps in any series. That is the hard part. DRS open again into the fast left-hander we go. You see there, we're 110 down on Thomas Ronar. Bit of understeer as we're trying to keep the backhand stable. You can see mid-corner wanted to snap away from me, as into this also important tight Mickey Mouse section we go. Short shifting to 5th, trying to keep the backhand stable, trying to get the power down, and we're 1.5 tenths up, going into the final 2 corners, trying to brake as late as possible. You can send it on the entry because the run up to the line is so short anyway, and it is P2 for now. Right behind Thomas Ronar, 1.6 tenths behind Thomas Ronar actually. As you can see, Daniel Haddad has finished his lap, so he's behind us. Jake coming across the line last, and it's gonna be P4, I think so for him, and P2 for us. So 2.4 tenths behind Thomas Ronar, and now we're gonna try and see if we can do something in the race. You can see there's solid improvement from our first to second run, but it was not enough to get pole position here today. On to the race we go now then. This is where the points are gonna be awarded, and this is where it all counts. We need to stay within 1 position of Thomas Ronar, simply said, if he does win the race. Off to a great start into turn 1. We get ahead on those medium tires. Daniel Haddad on the mediums as well. He's gonna try and spice things up early on in this race as well. We're just gonna try and get as much track position as possible in the opening few laps. Now we need to hope that Daniel Haddad can get ahead as soon as possible as well, so we can start working together and extend the gap even further to those hard runners, because that will just both help us so much this race. And in the opening laps I'm gonna be using a lot of ERS to try and just create as big of a gap as possible. And as you can see that Daniel Haddad down the inside of Thomas Ronar, and that is up to P2, and now it's both medium runners P1, P2, and we need to get out of that DRS window, out of that 1 second window from the hard runners as soon as possible, so we will not carry them along at any point during this race. I'm not sure how good these medium tires are gonna be in this opening stint, because I have not tested it yet. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Push as hard as we can, and then we will figure it out along the way. You see 7.5 tenths to Daniel Haddad so far, and he seems to be struggling a little bit more in this last sector than us, so we might be on higher wings, I'm not sure. as obviously we set the fast lap the race because we're the first across the line. Simple as that. Now, Thomas Ronner 8/10 behind Daniela Dat. It's still going to be 1 lap remaining before DRS gets activated, so we've got time, both me and Daniela, to create big enough of a gap to those hard runners. And you can see there, I'm just using all the battery power available in this next lap to make that happen. You see we're already on 49% battery, extra 160 horsepower available if you activate it. And Daniela's almost dropping out of DRS as well, but that's fine for us as well. We just need to keep pushing, create as big of a gap as possible. And I'm not sure if we actually are going to be able to manage to get Daniela out of that DRS, but even if we do, he might be using less battery compared to us, which would help him later on in the stint again, so it doesn't matter that much. We are definitely going to be setting a purple lap here. Daniela Dat out of the DRS from Thomas Ronner as well, but that won't get any DRS as well. 25.3 fast lap the race. Unfortunately for us, Daniela did manage to get back in the DRS. We have started to try and recharge some of our battery, which is not easy around here for some reason, especially
that is back in. It's fine.
With the new track layout. You've got less braking zones, which makes it harder to recharge battery. As you guys might know, the battery gets recharged through the rear brakes and through the turbo, so basically if you're off the throttle and downshifting, the battery charges for the turbo,
almost
and if you
57%
brake,
over the line.
it charges through the rear brake. So you need as many braking zones as possible, simply said. As you can see now, lap 11, Thomas Ronner actually managed to get past Daniela Dada. I think something went on there, but Thomas Ronner is not going to get DRS because we were like a few hundreds ahead of him.
Yeah, had that big mistake, exit turn 1.
We were a few hundred ahead of him at the detection zone. A few hundreds actually out of that 1 second window, so that helped us massively. And now Daniela Dat is going for a move again. But you can see our tires are just not quite there anymore. And we might have to give up this position in a lap's time. And as you can see here, Thomas is right with us now. Our rear tires are screaming at this point for help. 12 laps is a long time for the mediums, so we might have to box either at the end of this lap or the end of the next lap. But I kind of want to get DRS from Thomas for another lap, just as a little advantage. He's going to be faster at this point, so if we can manage to stick in the DRS for an extra lap, that will only help us later on in this race. But yeah, we will have to go to the hards. Back on all the games, 2-stop was an option as well, but the issue is that on F122 the softs are just absolutely terrible. You can basically do 6 laps in them and they won't even be fast laps because after one and a half lap the mediums are going to be faster already.
47% over the line.
As you can hear there, Thomas Ronner on 47% ERS across the line. He's pushing it through this section and we're just trying to stay within the DRS. You can see we'll just about be within the DRS for these next few straights, which is great because that way we have to do an extra lap less on these hards, technically, because by now losing a little bit less time, you know, we're kind of not really suffering as much with these poor tires. You can see there's absolutely no grip anymore, but the DRS is just carrying us a little bit along, so that's great.
ERS over DRS line.
But we are going to be boxing it in this lap. You can see Daniela Dat getting really close to us. He has a 3-second time penalty though, probably for track limits, and knowing Abu Dhabi on the F122 game, it is probably a double warning. For the people who don't know, if you get 3 warnings, you get a 3-second time penalty. And yeah, the game tends to give you like 5 randomly if you go off track once, which is a bit weird, but I think that's what might have happened to Danielle. As we're boxing now for a fresh set of hearts, we need to get a turn on right to get as fast of a pit stop as possible. I really don't like this future because you have to press a button to do it. It's just a bit unnecessary.
Jump in with Jake and
But
just let him know what I think.
we managed to get it perfect.
Yep.
And get a fast pit stop. Ruben Pedreño's retired from the session actually, so the underdog for this championship fight is out. And that is great news for us, not great news for Ruben of course. But we have to focus on our own race now. We're gonna try and keep recharging some of that battery. So
I'm gonna recharge my battery for the end of the race.
Yeah, as you can hear me say, I'm gonna recharge my battery for the end of the race. We need the battery later on to fight as hard as possible. And on to lap 16 we go now then. You can see Primoz Miklavic and Jack West 2.3 and 3.2 seconds ahead. And they still have to make a pit stop, so this could get a little bit messy because we can't lose any time ideally behind them, as Andrei Terabukin has retired from the session. Yeah, we don't want to lose any time here trying to get past them, because medium hards you kind of need to get a track position on the undercut and hope that the medium runners fall off in the end, just like we had in the first end. Danielle that goes for a move down the inside. Ismail Fassi makes a very weird
He almost took me out.
late move.
Fucking hell, mate. If I didn't avoid that, I would have been around.
And as you hear me say, if I didn't avoid that, I would have definitely been around. I think he was just trying to squeeze his front wing in on the apex, which almost made me spin around. And was a bit scary, but we had to give up that position. It's better to give up that one position than be out of the championship fight at this point. As Daniel Haddad is trying to get past Primoz Miklavic, who has not made a pit stop yet, and we're both gonna try and get past for Jake Benham, our teammate, sitting right next to us in this race, literally 1 meter away from us, as he's gonna try and obviously help us a little bit
Expect to come out half a second behind you.
if we need it in any way possible.
Yeah,
Thomas Boratzis has made a pit stop as well. I'm not sure what lap he boxed. As you can see, we're losing a lot of time here, and Thomas has not made a pit stop yet. So yeah, you can see to Thomas,
So fucking annoying, man.
we just lost 5 tenths to Thomas Boratzis.
No, they're not doing it on purpose.
So
Like 3 seconds already.
yeah, I shouldn't even say we've lost 3 seconds already. Yes, this has been going on for quite a few laps now. And yeah, that's not ideal for a race. As you can hear my engineer say, Thomas is boxing now for a new set of mediums, and he's going to be a lot faster until the end of the race. And now we just need to hope he comes out behind as many cars as possible. And now the next car coming up is Jack West. He still has to make the pit stop, and we're going to try and get past him in the very next DRS zone available. We're going to have a lot more grip, of course, on these fresher tires, as Thomas Onar comes out right behind us on a brand new set of mediums. And that's what I meant with we've lost 3 seconds. We have lost 3 seconds because yeah, there's no way you come out only 4 tenths ahead of someone who had to go way longer on a set of tires. So that's not ideal, and Thomas is going to be probably around 1 second per lap faster at this rate, if not more, because the new mediums on a light car are just going to be absolutely rapid. Jack West not battling too hard here, as he's not in the fight for anything at this point. He's just hoping for a late safety car probably, and now all we can do is fight as hard as we can. As, you can hear Jay complain in the background. I'm not sure about what, but I think he might have a little coming together with someone for a brief moment.
And they stop hitting me.
But now, this is where it's gonna get fun. This is where the dogfight starts. we cannot let Thomas go, obviously, because we are most likely not going to catch Ismail before the end of the race, unless his tires completely fall off the cliff. All we can do here is fight as hard as we can in every single straight, in every single corner. We have to keep him behind, because ideally Ismail or Daniel Haddad are going to win this race. You see, I'm going defensive into turn 5, and now Thomas is going to get DRS, but we are as well, and we're going to enable the overtake here. We're going to go defensive into the next chicane. You see Daniel Haddad is getting us a little bit of slipstream into the next chicane. We're going to go defensive. Thomas is going for the switchback here, but we're obviously going to try and cover that off on this exit. And you can see we stay alive for 1 lap longer. Every single lap that we can keep him behind is going to be hurting his race massively, and that is our goal here. We need to have him lose as much time as possible to either Ismail or Jake.
Oh my fucking god. Learn how
Thomas
to race, man.
hits us pretty hard there. Almost spun out in the long left-hander after Thomas tapped us on the rear. Now we're still within the DRS of Daniel Haddad, and hopefully we can keep that, because that's...
What is his DRS on?
12%.
12.
He turned 12. 1-2.
As you hear Sam say there, he's on 12% ERS. We have to go defensive into turn 1. Thomas is going for the switchback. Once again, we enable the overtake button. We've got more battery power, and that DRS from Daniel Haddad is coming in clutch, because that's one of our defense mechanisms that's keeping us alive here, as Ukabena is retired from the session. Now once again, onto the long back straight, we're gonna have to defend. We've got more battery, and once again he won't be able to get past. And you can see Jake Benham is right behind him now, and once Jake will get ahead on similar tires, that's when things get fun, because obviously Jake is trying, or is gonna try and do the same as us, and let's back him up as much as possible so that Ismail can win this race, even though we have nothing to do with Ismail or Daniel Haddad. We want him to win, we want them to win, because that would save our championship, and that's our only hope right now, because there's no way we're catching up back up to Ismail with older tires, older harder tires, and no battery. And you can see it's working very well. Thomas has been stuck behind us now for 3 laps, and he's still not past us. Once again, on this next lap we're gonna get DRS to get a big moment on the exit of the final corner. We managed to cover it up once again going into turn 1, and this is the ERS saving we did earlier on has kept us alive, but we are running out sooner or later, and we're gonna have a tire disadvantage until the end of the race. I decided to go for the outside there so I can get more momentum onto the back straight. Unfortunately, we don't have quite the grip, but we're going for the switchback, and we're going down the inside, trying to get a slipstream again for the next chicane. We're gonna try and maybe send it down the inside. Thomas covers it off very, very late. We're gonna try and go around the outside. You can't quite pull off. We go over the track. Jake goes past, and at this point, it's kind of in Jake's hands from here on. You can see we've lost so many positions as Duncan Hovland goes for a move down the inside. So does Jake. Goes down the inside. A little bit of a tap. And this is exactly what we needed. We needed Thomas to lose time, and we have exactly managed to do that. And now Duncan and Thomas have caught up as I almost run into the back of Duncan, and that has cost us another position, and our race has turned completely to shit.
I'm not sure. I think Jake is trying to slow everyone up.
But yeah, Jake's trying to slow Thomas up, of course, so that
He needs to do it a lot.
Daniela and Ismail can run away with this race.
Jump in, talk to him.
Now lap 23
Thomas is flashing.
has just started, and there's 7 laps to go. Thomas flashing, of course, same as us. And as you can see there, Thomas hits Jake around.
Well, that's one way to get him out of the way.
But yeah, so Jake is out of this now. and Thomas has clean air ahead of him. Now obviously you can't just punt someone out of the way, as Tomek has gone wide in the chicane. Now at the time I did not know yet that Thomas will be awarded a 5-second time penalty. So as long as we can just stay within that 5-second window, we are gonna win the championship. Now that is still gonna be quite a task, as I've got people sending it and trying to get past me every single lap. As we are on old hard tires, we basically sacrificed the race holding up Thomas, but he is still on a very fresh set of tires. Our race obviously was damaged a little bit by losing that much time in traffic, which made it more tough. But as you can see here, lap 25, Shanna Kinsey going for a move.
Just going to jump
and
up and ask Jake a question.
We're going to drop down to P9. Yeah, there's not much we can do. There's not much we need to do. Because with that 5-second time penalty from Thomas, at the time I didn't know, of course, but I also did know because I knew that Thomas had crashed into Jake at the time. So I kind of knew he was going to get a penalty. I just didn't know how severe. And all I had to do was just keep it on track, not doing anything crazy. And into the final lap we go now. Thomas is leading ahead of Ismail Fassi. Ismail, his mediums completely died and just started losing so much time in the end. So that was not ideal for him. But last lap of the race, we could go for a move on Chan maybe. Not really any point though, because we know all we have to do is stay in this position to win the championship with that 5-second penalty of Thomas Onar. And you can see everyone ahead flashing. We still have enough battery to do something if we need a little bit of a drift coming out of the chicane. DRS open for the final time this season in WOR, and we haven't won a single championship yet on F122. We failed winning PSGL, but today is gonna be our day. Into the final few corners we go, and we are gonna be WOR champions for the first time with 2 corners to go. You see there's a big fight going on up ahead. It doesn't matter anymore anyway. We're gonna be winning our first WOR title. Across the line we go. It's P6 after on-track penalties, and it's P5 after off-track penalties. As you can see, I wasn't sure at the time yet I'd won the championship, but you can see there Thomas 3.9 seconds ahead of us, drops behind us after that penalty. So yeah, great season. It actually hasn't been a great season. I suck at this game, honestly. We're gonna obviously be doing more league racing in the off season, trying to get better at this game, trying to understand it better. As F1 Esports will be finished by the time the next league racing season starts. So much more league racing content coming your guys' way. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe for more league racing content, and see you guys next time. Ciao.